Welcome to Ecotoons, brought to you by the Worldwide Fund for Nature. Let's take a look at some of the stuff we've got in store for you. So why exactly have we made this tape? Apart from the fact that it's a pretty good excuse to show you a whole load of nifty cartoons. Well, you may have noticed that the planet Earth isn't in very good nick at the moment. I know that, you know that. But animation can be a pretty good way of pointing it out to people who haven't got around to thinking about it. See if you agree. Those two films were made by students. Incidentally, the second one, Soap, directed by Sandra Ensby, was this year's WWF and Royal Society of Arts animation competition winner. Here are a few more, this time made by professional studios. Of course, concern for the environment isn't just a question of whether or not you use ozone-friendly products around your house, is it? There's a whole industry devoted to dumping toxic waste, and that's a seriously major problem. Take a look at this. We all contribute to producing vast amounts of waste, don't we? And hardly any of it ever gets recycled. So what happens to the rest of it?
C'est-à-dire je lance, déclenche une crainte.
So how have we got into this terrible state where our whole planet is polluted and under threat? Is it just bad luck? Or the fault of a few thoughtless people? Or could it possibly have something to do with good old human greed?
Noi siamo parte della Terra ed essa è parte di noi. Quello che le facciamo, lo facciamo a noi stessi. All'Hotel Terra siamo 5 miliardi. Prima di andarvene, lasciate la stanza in ordine per il nuovo ospite.
This next film's a bit special. At the beginning of 1993, WWF and the children's Saturday morning TV show Going Live announced a special competition. If you wanted to enter, you had to send in a simple storyboard, just 6 frames, showing the famous plasticine TV star Morph in some sort of Greene situation.
Today's the day we're offering a Going Live viewer the chance to have his or her story turned into an animation by Aardman. Now, they're the people behind such creatures as the Creature Comforts animals and Morph. Thanks, Morph, and a big welcome to, I could call you, I suppose, Morph's co-creator,
Yes,
really,
that's fair
Peter
enough.
Lord. How do you start the whole thing, though?
Well, with any given job, you start with an idea. With this Greene thing, I guess we'll start with some kind of environmental idea and develop it from there.
But obviously it's the visuals that are important, so do you just write down the story?
If you do that, it's hard work, and it doesn't actually convey what's going to be a series of pictures in the end. So no, we work with pictures and tell the story in little drawings.
Now, it's the storyboard that we're after for this competition, isn't it? We need a storyboard, about 30 seconds long, to convey your idea for a story for Morph based around an ecological issue. Now the winner will get his or her story turned into an animation by Peter down at Aardman Studios. They'll get to go and see that being done. We'll show the film on Going Live, and it will be featured on the second Worldwide Fund for Nature's Greene video.
A month later, the winner was announced.
Well, we had thousands of entries. Thank you very much for all of them. A few of them we've got up behind me here. And if I tell you that Peter Lord said he thought the standard was remarkably high and he had great difficulty in coming up with a winner, you'll realise that is high praise indeed, coming from someone who has just received an Oscar nomination for his film Adam. Well, finally, he did choose a winner, and here it is. It is by Ruth Dancer, who's 12, and she comes from Gloucestershire. And if you have a close look at it now, you can see Morph looking in his box but can't see what he wants for junk. Then Morph moves on and decides to throw it all away. Now Chaz sees him and wonders what he's doing. Morph explains to Chaz, and then Chaz has a bright idea. Bing! Chaz asks Morph if he can have the junk. Morph agrees but laughs because he's taken away just the junk, the rubbish, as Morph sees it. And then Chaz rides in on a beautiful bike made out of all the junk that Morph has thrown away, and she ends up saying, so remember, recycle.
This is Ruth here. I'll have a chat to her in a matter of moments, and she went down a couple of weeks ago to visit the Aardman Animation Studios in Bristol to meet Peter and to see her animation come to life.
Well, with the box you could use the rubbish in the box, and then you could use that, incorporate that in the idea of recycling, which is what I thought of. And at the end, when I used the punchline, I didn't actually think of it at first. I knew there had to be something to say what it's all about, so I put "so remember recycle." Yeah. And then I realised that you can make a joke out of it properly, and so that's how I made it.
Oh, I see. You didn't think of cycle and a bicycle at first. That's interesting. I assumed that was the whole point of the thing. But what I like about it, particularly, is you've actually got two punchlines, which is a real luxury, because you've got, in fact, three punchlines actually. Because when you see that Chaz has made this bike, that should be a laugh. You know, I always think of these scripts in terms of when people laugh. That should make them laugh. Yeah. And then you've drawn Morph looking so disgusted here, which I think is fantastic, and that should make them laugh. And then you've got the verbal thing of this recycle. A luxury, I'd say it was, yeah. As soon as I saw it, it was clear that the thing that needed building was the bike at the end, Ruth's visual and verbal gag about recycling. And this is the animator thinking now. I thought, oh no, I can't do a bike, because a two-wheel bike would be so difficult to hold upright. So I've, in a very cowardly way, turned it into a tricycle, which will stand up under its own steam. So this animating Morph, like all the things we animate, it's all a question of moving the character, sort of breaking down movement into a series of still pictures. That's the idea. So as he's walking, if he takes a step, 2 steps in a second, I'm trying to break that second down into its component parts and put him in the right position. So that's how he looks for just 1/12 of a second only, and I'm keen to catch that 1/12 of a second before he falls over. And now I move him again into the next position, the next part of the step. This arm's going back, this arm's coming forward, this foot's coming through. So I've got to think of all those things at once. And my favourite trick, which I should pass on to you for use in your own career, is that his foot never leaves the ground, although it appears to. So when this foot comes through from behind, it actually rises up onto his toe and never actually leaves the ground at all. So in fact, he's sliding around the whole time. This way it looks reasonably natural. If you notice closely, his feet get bigger and bigger as he goes along. All the plasticine just wants to move down his legs towards his feet. So every few minutes I have to stop and move his feet back up to his legs again.
long is it going to take?
Well, it's going to take me 3 days at least, I should think, for your script, and up to 5. I mean, I normally reckon that a Morph film will take between 3 and 5 days. Yours isn't too bad, I'm glad to say, not too difficult. So I hope maybe 3 days of this kind of thing, because I don't know if this looks slow to you, but to me this is like greased lightning, you know, really, compared to some of the stuff I do. Some days I may only take 1 second of animation in the course of a whole day. But working with Morph is so easy, except for falling over, that I can probably shoot 15 seconds in a day or something like that.
All the models that you use to do your animation, what do you do with them when you're finished with them?
That's a good point. Well, the Morph models, I'm happy to say, end up recycled. I mean, we do literally, yeah. Yes, he's a fine example of recycling. I mean, it's quite frightening to watch him. At the end of the shoot, if you look closely now, he's already rather dirty. This is after a couple of hours. And after 6 or 7 hours, he looks pretty filthy. So what I do is I don't tell anyone. I slice his eyes off and squish up and start again, basically. And that's the joy of plasticine. It's very good from that point of view. And he'll last for ages. I mean, in different incarnations, he keeps coming back.
So here it is. Ruth Dancer's winning entry, Recycle.
Excellent. Excellent. What did you think?
Oh, I'm really pleased with it.
Yeah?
I couldn't imagine it to turn out like that.
Because that's the first time you've ever
Yes,
seen it, when we watched
first
it just
time.
then on the telly, yeah?
The bite was brilliant. I actually saw the bite when I went down to Bristol, and it was really good.
You had a good
Really
time?
pleased. Yes,
Oh,
very good time.
well done, congratulations. It's a fabulous film.
Well done, Ruth. Actually, this next film's quite interesting too. It looks to me as if the hero is Morph's long-lost cousin. It's about a little baby who's just about to be born, but doesn't really want to be. Can you blame it?
That's it. Come on. Push. Push. Yes, come on. Push. Come on.
Oh.
Come on, time to get out now.
Oh.
And now, dream time. It's based on an Aboriginal myth which shows how difficult it is to say no when you're offered all these lovely so-called civilised gadgets and consumer goods. Even things as apparently harmless as a simple box of matches.
In the beginning, the Wangan, the dingo, was a man, and his name was Jura. He was happy because he had everything he needed. He had a bark boat and could make others whenever he wanted to. He had a strong spine for sewing, and he had good resin from the ironwood tree. With all this, he could sew the bark together for his boats. He had paddles for his boat, and fire sticks for making a fire when he needed one. Wangan Jura met a white man one day, and the white man asked him, "What's that you're carrying?" "These are my fire sticks," replied Jura. But the white man asked, "What good are they?" Jura explained, "They're mine, they belong to me. I can make fire with them when and where I want to." The white man took a box of matches out of his pocket and showed it to Jura. He said, "Look, I have matches. They're much better than your sticks. I can make fire much more quickly and easily than you can with your sticks. I'll give them to you. Here, take them." But Jura refused to take them and said to the white man, "No, keep your matches. I don't want them. I'd rather keep my fire sticks. If I take your matches, I'll turn into a white man. I'm Wangan Dingo, and when I change into a black man." He turned away and left the white man. He went over to a rock where he found other dingoes. They all went back together to explain to the white man that they did not need him. Wangan preferred to change into a black man, and that was why he refused the matches. What's more, that is why the black men stay black and do not change into white men. Jura Wangan explained to white man that he could make fire perfectly well with his sticks. He also showed him how to make a bark boat, how he sewed it and caulked it with resin. He explained that he had everything that he wanted, that he was happy and did not need anything else. The white man was disappointed by this and said, "If that's the way it is, if you don't want my matches, I'll go away and take all my houses with me, though you could have sheltered in them during the rain." And he went away. If all the black men had refused the white men's matches, they would still be as free as the dingoes are. They could do anything they liked, just like the Wangan dingoes.
As you'll have seen by now, it isn't necessarily all that difficult to make a film about what's wrong with the world. But let's finish with a bunch of cartoons that set about a much harder task, looking at what we might do to put things right. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It isn't going to be easy to recreate everything this planet has lost, is it? And just throwing money at our problems isn't going to solve them all. We've got to change the way we think and the way we act. Let's hope these cartoons persuade a few more people to start trying. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
We're walking a tightrope. We're treading a fine line. Anybody here wanna planet? Anybody here wanna work? Well, we're cutting down trees and we're killing the whales, filling the world with our nuclear scale, dumping our waste. We are starving the third